Yo, what is happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Chart Request Live right here on Stock Market TV. I am Sam Gatlin from All Star Charts, and today I am joined by my very esteemed colleague and co-host, Dan, the man from Canada, up above. I think this is the first time I've been on the show with you, Dan, so it's a real pleasure. I'm a huge fan of your work, and I look forward to ripping through some charts with you today. I know we have a lot to cover. We have a big mailbag. For those of you that are not familiar with this show, this is Chart Request Live, where you provide the tickers and we bring the charts. We have a mailbag that you can get your ticker included in if you email us questions at stockmarketmedia.com. And then when we're done with that, we go over to the YouTube chat where I see we already have some action. We've got Jonathan here, a regular pounder of the Chart Request Live. Good to see you here again, Jonathan. We've got Hanson. We've got Riley Roseby in the house from Godspeed. What's up, Riley? Happy to see you here. And Wavy McFly, everybody. Good to see you. And if you are watching this on the Twitter, I know there's a lot of you out there, hop on over to the YouTube so we can see your comments and the tickers you want to review today. So without further ado, Dan, I see you have up the S&P 500 with a little WAP action.
Yeah.
I have this funny story. We were at Portfolio Accelerator in Miami, and we have this shirt that says VWAP and chill, and kind of like the Netflix and chill. And I was wearing that out in the wild, and some normie asked me what the WAP was, and they were kind of thinking it was like the Cardi B WAP. Oh. For those of you that are not familiar, go ahead and Google that. I'm not gonna say what that means. This is a family show, yeah. But WAP does not mean what Cardi B is referring to. It is the volume weighted average price. Funny story. I got a good chuckle out of that. Oh, no, so good great to interact with normies out there that don't know this market lingo that we use.
For sure. For sure. I haven't had a chance to wear that yet out in the wild, so
it's a great shirt.
Be interesting.
Totally.
To see.
Yeah, you got to join Portfolio Accelerator. If you want the stock market media swag, you can see what we do at Portfolio Accelerator on the Stock Market Media website. There's a drop-down menu there to check out Portfolio Accelerator. We're going to Nashville, Tennessee in about almost exactly 2 months, I believe.
That's right. Yep. And I'm sure it'll be another great time.
100%. All right, Dan, talk us through this chart. What are you seeing? All right,
so yeah, let's get into it. I dropped the VWAP from those April lows, comes in around 64.40, and then you also have a shelf that you can also draw right here where the market, they bought it a couple times back here in October, again November, coming around 6,500, 6,550. So we haven't quite touched that area yet. So I'm thinking maybe we go down there, see if the buyers show up again, and also open to the idea that we could also undercut it, tag this VWAP too. So, but just in a wide, messy range for
that would
for
be poetic justice right there, Dan. Undercut those former lows, kiss the VWAP, and then
That's
rip
right.
it.
Yep. So open to obviously any possibility, but this is on the short term what I'm looking at here. So no reason to panic yet. Still in an uptrend with support.
What about the dollar? A lot of people talking about the dollar right now, Dan.
Dollar, definitely watching the dollar. Right back into, I already have this kind of marked up. You can see we extend this right here, right into that 101, 100 level where it's tagged before a few times. So we're back there again. You can see some selling pressure coming up today at that level. So we'll see what happens, Sam. What are you thinking? Are we going to get this breakout in the dollar, or is it going to mean revert back down?
It wouldn't surprise me. I've been saying it. Everybody's been against me. I was the only one saying it at the Portfolio Accelerator event in Miami. A room full of the smartest investors out there, and everybody was taking the other side, saying, we can see more weakness in the dollar. You'd see more strength in international markets, more strength in precious metals. And while I still really like those trades over longer time frames, it's been look at the charts. It's been up only for years, really, at this point, and the trends are very much extended. And while the primary trend on longer time frames is still very much higher, you still could see a nasty corrective wave. And I think that's kind of my base case. And a lot of things are aligning for that to happen. I don't mean to be Mr. Seasonality here, but yeah, it's not supposed to be easy right now. This is historically like the worst time of the 4-year presidential cycle. You have commodities making big moves. You have bonds flirting with a major breakdown, and I think that's coming, and I think that's going to put more pressure on a lot of these extended trends. So yeah, I'm here for it, Dan. I'm always looking for the pain trade, as that is a great way to extract money from the market. And while I've been very bullish, a lot of these things that have worked, international stocks, precious metals, sometimes it's prudent to take the other side of that. So
yes, sir.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I'm here for it. I'm getting a lot of kudos for my hat in the chat. Appreciate all of you. Let's go. I'm energy.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, Dan, I know we have a loaded mailbag today, so let's start off with Chris, who wants to look at really mega cap tech, and then this is kind of an oddball. We've got Disney. So we've got Meta, we've got Microsoft, and we've got Disney. So pick one of those, Dan, and let's see what's going on. We don't need to go through all three.
Let's see Meta.
Boring.
Yeah, kind of.
I know, yeah, Disney's kind of the same, just a big fat range, nothing to talk about. Maybe Microsoft would be the most interesting.
All right, let's see Microsoft. So
also
down
not that interesting. Just kind of a mess. Kind of bouncing there. Yeah, it kind of looks like here. IGV a little bit.
Yeah, it looks very similar. You got a shelf here, tagged it here, undercut it here, and ripped back the other way. So right around that 385, 380 level, key level, you could get long using this as your risk level. If it breaks below there, you definitely don't want to be long. You don't want to touch it. And then maybe just trade it right back up to these prior highs around 550 is the way I would do it.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dan. It's really impressive how far this one's come to the downside. I mean, how much market capitalization has this one lost? Really, since what was that, last summer when it peaked?
Yeah, in July, end of July, and then it tagged it again in October, and then just fell straight down.
You're talking about like $1 trillion plus of market cap just erased.
Yeah, and with a move like that swift, I wouldn't be surprised for it to base around a little bit before it actually gets going again. A few more weeks of maybe basing and let that tech trade come in and start really working. And then you probably see Microsoft start working to the upside again.
Yeah, totally. Good risk reward here. I am always looking for good risk reward trades. So shout out Chris for bringing that one along. Let's move on to Hansen, wanting to look at ALM.
Yeah.
So that is, what is ALM? That is a Canadian metals and mining stock with a $5 billion market capitalization. So
look at this move, just straight higher, offering really not even a pullback. And if we fib it out here, let's see if we can have to add some fibs. So right into that $20, $21 level there, you can see. I, for one, am not into really trying to get into something like this. It's hard to define your risk.
Totally, yeah. This is not something that technicians love, of course, like if you're a trend follower, who doesn't want a line that just goes up? But as technicians,
after you're already in it.
Totally, yeah, we want to get involved on that base breakout above, what is that, $1.50, $1.60?
Yeah, right here,
that was the trade. You buy that primary trend reversal and then you 10x your money.
That's right. That's
at this
right.
point, it's more difficult.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit of sideways action, maybe some consolidation. Give me a short-term bull flag or something, right? But yeah, this is very difficult to get into. I mean, you could use $20 as like that psychological level if you had to, but not something I'd be getting into with it looking like this.
Totally, and I think that's where Hansen's head is at as well, because they mentioned they have a 3-month time frame with this trade. So 100%, if this one carves out some type of high and tight bullish continuation pattern, you could get involved on a break above 21, the target of 34. I don't hate that.
Yep.
All right, Dan, nice chart there. Huge uptrend. And I don't think that's one I've looked at before. I look at a lot of charts, but man, it seems like every episode here at Chart Request Live, I see a chart that I haven't looked at ever or in a very long time. So shout out to our community here.
Yeah, they're the best.
100% best finance community on the internet here. All right, next up is Neil's ticker. Looking at keeping it local to you, Dan. Looking at another Canadian stock. This is, I think it's Chorus. This is CHR on the TSX.
TSX.
I think this is like a $500 million airline stock. Neil says it's a small cap stock, so easily manipulated. So if you just want to analyze the chart without the ticker, that is fine. Want you to think this is a pump and dump. Appreciate that, Neil. Anyway, 5-year chart is a clearly defined reverse head and shoulder base. Depending on which neckline you use, has already broken out. Regardless, my mid-year target is $28 to $30, and in a year, looking at $34 as a price target. So what do you think about that, Dan?
So this is what Neil's looking at. Little inverse head and shoulders, depending on.
It's pretty messy. I like my head and shoulders a little cleaner than this. I think you have to use more of a diagonal trend line.
And he said, sorry, what did he say about the target over?
Looking at mid-year price target of $28 to $30, and by March of 2027, looking at $34.
Okay. Well, you got the VWAP anchored to these highs right here from 2018.
What if you drop the 2020 WAP?
Oh, from right here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see where that comes in. Might come in a little closer. Yeah, there you go. Right along with this shelf here. Call it 23. So we're just below there trading today. But yeah, I mean, you can get long on a break of 23, call it 24 if you want to anchor it with the VWAP from the 2020 highs. And then you could trade it right to here, the $29, $30 area. And then, yeah, you got these prior highs from 2021 right at 35, 36. That offers another potential target on where to sell. But yeah, it's shaping up nicely. Bearish to bullish reversal pattern. I don't hate it.
Yeah, very nice. How about you benchmark it to Jets, like CHR over Jets, the airline ETF? I know it's more of like a US focused ETF, but
can we not?
I'm curious if there's any relative strength there.
Here, let's see if I can.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so not really a leader in the airlines. I think you want to, for me, it's more you want to look for the big caps in the space, the Deltas, the Americans.
Yeah, those are. Is it Delta that I believe? Yeah, this is more of what you would want.
Yeah,
nice uptrend,
especially if you have a time frame like what was it, Neil? Yeah, Neil has like a 1-year time frame, so. If you're trading over that long of a period, I'd want to own the relative strength. And, CHR just doesn't seem like that to me.
Yep. Fair points. Yeah, even United.
100%. All right, let's move on to David Smith. Looking for the best risk reward with a 6-month time frame. We have DQ, Billy, and Alibaba. So you can just rip through those three and pick your favorite, Dan, and then we'll dive a little deeper. I don't think DQ is it. Solar has been getting hammered. I'm kind of thinking Billy is the best.
Yeah, I do want to say especially with this reversal pattern.
So clean.
So clean. You have your shelf right here. Call it 28, 29. Let's see if we drop a VWAP. That comes in right there at 31. So you can use the VWAP. Above 31, you buy this on strength all day. And this is a long-term pattern. So you want to target back to the all-time highs. So from a risk-reward perspective, getting in above here, it's trading it all the way back to about 155, 160. I know he said 6 months.
Yeah, I think this is more of like a 12 to 24
kind of trade. It'll take longer than 6 months to get there, but
yeah. No, this is one of the best bases out there in the market. No doubt about that. I'm really into that Billy.
Yeah, it's a fantastic base.
Yeah, Baba's already broken out. You're getting a little kickback now.
Yeah, if you want to draw the shelf right somewhere like this along here.
Yeah, kind of messy.
A little bit messier than Billy. Something like this, you're getting that retest right around 125. You can buy it with your risk defined there. And then same idea. I mean, if it's a short-term trade, you trade it to the prior highs. Longer term, you're looking at back to the all-time highs, just over 300. So both of them are pretty good risk reward right now for the Baba and the Billy. I guess it's just a preference of if you want to buy weakness or if you want to wait to buy strength.
Yeah, good point. David was also wanting to look at 3 ETFs, country ETFs with a 12-month time frame, looking at EWW. So that is the Mexico and Brazil, EWZ, and Argentina, ARGT. So Mexico, beautiful base there.
This is a great base.
Yeah.
Mexico.
A little bit of a false start going here, but you know, so far it hasn't completely fallen apart.
Yeah, so false breakout. So below 75, there's no reason to own it. You want to get it back on strength above there. And then, you could trade this to 100, 105. I don't mind that at all. It's a great base when this breaks out. I mean, these bases are big, Sam. You know, it takes time sometimes to go. False starts. It'll whip you around, make you frustrated. So be patient with it. And then what was the other one? EWZ?
EWZ. Yeah, I think that EWW is my favorite. Like, you know, David mentioned specifically a 12-month time frame. I think that is the move.
Yeah,
Brazil also looks good. You know, Brazil's pulling back into a key level of former resistance. So pretty interesting entry level here.
Yeah, and this is, let's see if we drop the VWAP. Surprise.
Once again, finding resistance at that VWAP. How many times is that? Like, is that like the 50th time it's failed?
Oh, you know what? We can actually drop it from way up here. Okay, there you go. So you have like a couple of VWAPs if you want to drop it, but so still below this one that comes in around 40. You can see it tried here back in 2019, beginning of 2020. So it's running up there again. And it's been on a nice run. So maybe some digestion here, a little bit of sideways. You want to see it kind of stay high and tight. Don't give too much back, can speak to the strength of it. And then, bullish above 40. And if we drop some fibs.
Yeah, it looks like that 38.2. There's going to be a lot of baggies there.
Yeah, comes in right around 50. But above that, you can see 70 and then all the way back to 102 to the all-time highs.
Very nice. And I think I don't want to get the name wrong. David said his number one choice was the ARGT. So let's look at that. See what's going on with Argentina, Dan.
Yeah, Argentina. I remember this one from, I believe it was last year, where it was like just on one hell of a run.
Yep. A lot of gaps, big political gaps.
Yeah.
That nasty island reversal there. Woo-wee. It's not often you see that island reversal like that on a country ETF. Man,
Yeah, you do not see that very often.
imagine
Like
being one of those
this right
bears
here.
trapped in there. That would suck.
Yeah, you don't want that to be you. But anyhow, yeah, I mean, this is in the middle of kind of no man's land between the 261 and the 423. So maybe if we want to zoom in and you drop a VWAP for like a tactical entry here, above that VWAP 93, you can enter long and trade it to this 116 target. But it's pretty sideways and messy in a wider range.
Yeah, no Mexico. We're going with.
That's definitely the move. I agree.
All right. Shout out David for bringing those along. Let's move on to Jonathan. I see you out there in YouTube land, Jonathan. We're getting to your ticker right now. Wanting to take a look at TNGX. Jonathan says it has a 10 days to cover ratio. Looks like the market is short. Breaking out question mark. Okay, TNGX. So this is Tango Therapeutics, $2.5 billion biotech. Wowzers. I'm not sure if this is right, but I might need to cross check my data. Says it has 50% short interest in a 15x days to cover ratio.
Oh, wow.
And then you look at this chart. Like, what in the world are these short sellers thinking, Dan?
That's right. I mean, great base here. Clean level at 1819. And above here, this is going to be going a lot higher, especially with that short interest. There's going to be people getting squeezed. So 100%. This is a great chart. Shout out to Jonathan.
Kind of reminds me of the ASTS. I know this is a biotech and that's a space exploration stock, but it just it stopped going down. It just tanked. What was this drawdown? Like 90%?
Very similar kind of move off those lows, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I see what you're saying. But
very nice.
Great chart. I mean,
this is a front runner for chart of the day so far. TNGX.
Above those 2021 highs, next target 30.
Man, do I love a good biotech squeeze. Those are some of my favorites.
Yeah.
Man. All right, so shout out Jonathan. That is a front runner for chart of the day so far on Chart Request Live. Next, this is the final ticker from the mailbag, Dan, and we'll move over to the YouTube chat. Once we get through Matthew's request, please put a magnifying glass on the software group. IGV found a bottom on 2/23/2026, holding the 2024 lows. Some of the major players, Microsoft, Palantir, ServiceNow, Salesforce, are fighting against the software is toast theme, while others, Adobe, sink lower. How would you sift for winners in this group? That's a great question, Matthew. Thank you for that very thoughtful request in the mailbag. What do you think, Dan?
So yeah, I mean, this also speaks to Microsoft and what we just showed in that chart. And then for the IGV that we have here are the prior cycle highs. It's currently just below that. So you want to see this scoop and go pretty quickly and reclaim those levels to get really bullish on the space. But I would say if you're looking to find like the stronger ones, pay attention to the ones that are above this 2021 highs and
or the ones making new all-time highs. Like I'm involved with the ADEA.
Yep, I knew you were gonna go there. Or you just buy ones that are making new 52-week highs, all-time highs. This is a leader in the software space, as it looks nothing like most of the other ones. And yeah, that's the way you would do it.
Totally. Yeah, you could also, I think, looking for, what did you say the date was? Let's see, 2/23/2026. So you could like anchor to that February 23rd date and look for the biggest bounces off that low. I think that's another really interesting way to filter for the the names that will lead this next leg,
Yeah,
potentially higher in
great
software.
point.
Yeah, shout out Matthew for bringing that one along. Software certainly is an interesting area right now. Let's see if we can get some more ticker requests in the chat for software names that are standing out. I see we still have a lot of action here. Yako the Goat says, "Let's go Wichita." Shout out Wichita, Kansas, a great city.
It
Love
is
it.
that time.
Just because you're being so kind, Yako the Goat, let's take a look at Cisco for some short-term targets. Looking at possible targets for this week or next. That is pretty short term.
This week, okay.
I'm more interested in that .com bubble base in the Cisco. I don't know
Yeah,
about
if
a
we zoom out,
short-term trade there. I mean, this is something you buy in the retirement account and tuck away for a decade and don't think about it, don't look at it, don't do
yeah.
anything.
So
that's how I think about a chart like this.
Great base. It tried once already, failed. So you want to be patient for sure with this one, but above 82, no doubt about it. You want to get long. The first target's 128, but he said he wanted to drill in for short term.
Yeah, I don't really see much of a short-term opportunity here, Dan. What about you?
I don't either, but I mean, if you really want to, I dropped the VWAP from that pivot high there. Yeah, you can use it as an entry to get long, define your risk. Above it, you're in. Below it, you're out type thing. And then
a little gap fill play
for a quick, gap fill or back to these this area of the highs, 86, 87. I mean, go nuts.
Nice. Shout out Yako the Goat. Are you in Kansas, Yako? I don't know if you're still here. Yako says, "I'm holding and need to get out ASAP, LOL." Good one. All right, let's move on. Let's look at John. John gave me props for my hat, so let's look at Surge Energy, ZPTAF is the ticker for that.
ZPT. Okay, yeah.
Looks like it's an OTC. Also says go Arizona Wildcats. My parents are actually visiting Arizona right now for the first time ever, which is pretty amazing. It seems like most people have been to Arizona a million times, but not us, not our family. And no, it's not go Arizona Wildcats. It's go KU Rock Chalk. But if KU gets knocked out of the March Madness, then I will root for Arizona. Let's go Big 12. Keep the Big 12 great. Yeah. Yako the Goat is in Wichita. Cool. Let's go get a beer sometime, Yako.
Okay, so we have the Surge Energy. I dropped a VWAP from those, I mean, not much price action here, so we'll call this the all-time highs in 2014. It's right underneath there by a couple pennies. You can drop one here from this pivot high. It's already above that, but this is where you want to enter on strength above this all-time high VWAP. Signals that buyers have now taken control. The trend is now reversing and heading higher. As you can see, made the low here back in 2020. This would be considered your higher low. And now we're going to see if we can go make that next higher high. For a price target, this is about at $11. Not a bad move at all. Getting at around 630.
I'm more interested in names that are like breaking out. This is Explorer and Producer, part of the XOP. So like if you look at this relative to XOP, and it's just not that impressive, Dan, hanging out near the lower bound of a pretty prolonged consolidation. But if you look at the XOP in absolute terms, this seems to be where the rotation is happening inside of energy. Like you've already seen the big integrated players like ExxonMobil rip to new highs. But these explorers and producers have kind of lagged behind. But, historically in strong energy bull markets, you see these names outperform dramatically. And now they're starting to play some catch up. Major sector rotation or intra sector rotation is really what's going on here.
That's right.
So yeah, I like this area a lot, and I want to buy the names that are breaking out to new highs, not like what we were just looking at with whatever that was called, Surge Energy, I believe.
Yeah, that would be more considered a catch-up trade, if anything, because it's still down near the
Yeah.
lower end. While other stocks are either breaking out, looking like the XOP is about to, or closer to 52-week highs. Yeah.
Keeping it on the energy theme, I'd like to take a look at TPL. Riley Roseby from Godspeed in the chat brought up TPL, and man, this is one of
This
my
is a
favorite
great.
energy stocks of all time. Near and dear to my heart. It's treated me very well. You have a really nice short-term setup, but if you just zoom out like you're doing
Yeah,
here, and over the long term,
look at this.
few energy stocks look like this. It just goes up and to the right.
Just
Very,
very
very
nice.
impressive. It's an interesting business too. We don't need to get all fundamental on here. You can go dive into what this company is doing on your own time. But I like this company a lot, and I like
Yeah,
that short-term setup as well.
just start stepping higher over the long term. And then here's what you're talking about with the short term. Would you call this a little blow off top? Maybe
I
just,
would, yeah. You could use that shelf of former highs that we're now above.
yeah,
Yeah,
you could do it
I
like
would
this.
define my risk there. Get involved with this little short-term coil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
use this
that's
as
how
your
I would.
shelf. 475, as long as you're above there, can be long. And then if you want some targets, which drawdown should we pick?
The cool thing about Fibonacci, Dan, is there is no right answer.
There is no right answer.
You can drop
It's
all
all about
kinds
how
of
you
it.
want
It's
to
the
drop
same with
them.
VWAP, drop all the WAPs.
Yeah.
Riley says it's oil, water, and data centers. That's the TPL. That
So
pretty much
yeah,
sums it up, Riley.
yeah. No, it's a very, very strong stock, of course. So yeah, you want to define. You can even use that 500 psychological level and trade it to almost 800. You got there.
Yeah, looking really, really nice. Thank you for bringing that one, Riley. Shout out to you looking at the strong stocks out there in the market. All right, Dan, let's take a look at AA for our man Trip Davidson in the chat. Says it's been testing his patience for 4 weeks now. Is he going to get a breakout here to new highs? I kind of think so. What do you think, Dan?
It's looking like it. So let's see. Does he give a time frame or?
No. I assume he's looking to trade it back to those prior cycle highs. And man, we talk about it all the time right here on Chart Request Live, is the strongest uptrends in the market correct through time and not price. It's exactly what you've seen here with AA, ripping through a major shelf of former highs and just going straight sideways for several weeks now. Looks like you're trying to kick off that fresh leg higher this week. So looking really, really nice.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree. I mean, look at this move. Pretty much straight shot higher into that nice sideways tight coil. And now you want to see it get above the 61.8 of 69 to trade it back to those prior cycle highs. It's looking good. Looking good.
All right. And while we've been on this energy theme, Wavy McFly, big take here from Wavy McFly, says the Shell is the best looking chart in energy. That is very controversial, Wavy. Man, it's a great chart, but the best chart in energy? I don't know.
This
I
is
don't know
a fantastic.
it looks really good. Yeah, I'm totally with you,
chart.
Wavy. This is awesome. I think you have a nice dividend here as well. So for those of you that are not familiar with Shell, I don't know how that's possible, but this is a monster in the energy space, $250 billion in market cap. I think that makes it maybe the fourth largest in the world. This one's from the United Kingdom and pays about a 3%, maybe 3.33% dividend yield.
Not bad at all, especially when you're breaking out of a base like this above 89. Get some dividends too. No,
Sign me
this
up
is
for that.
fantastic. Wavy
Seaman
always
Brave
finds the
says
biggest
big
bases.
British bases. Yeah, love the big British bases. Shout out. All right, let's finish off with this. DPS is raising the stakes here. To Wavy McFly says, I'll take EQNR over Shell.
EQNR.
See, I don't know about that one, DPS. That is a hot take.
I might have to side with the Shell still.
Yeah.
Although this is quite the move.
100%, but like it's much more difficult to define risk at this level. Like with the Shell, you have that massive base to trade. I mean, you can risk $1 and make $100 or whatever that risk reward was there. A little bit more tricky with this one.
Yeah, not much of an entry forming here when you have a move like this.
Yeah,
you'd probably want some either a high and tight coil or maybe a little backing and filling closer towards that anchored VWAP from those highs. But otherwise, really nowhere to define the risk on this.
Totally. All right. Yeah, I know there are some more requests in the chat, but we have ran out of time. So if you want to get your ticker in next week's episode of Chart Request Live, please email us questions at stockmarketmedia.com. And Dan, I still think TNGX, that's the chart of the day from Jonathan. Huge shout out to Jonathan for bringing that one along. Amazing setup here. And as a reminder, this TNGX has a ridiculous amount of short interest. Almost 1 in every 2 shares are sold short. And you have a base like this, man, I think this could easily double in a matter of days, maybe weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be cautious. This is a biotech, so there is probably some big binary event coming up that all these short sellers are getting excited about. But yeah, nonetheless, this is a very compelling setup from Jonathan.
Yeah.
So kudos to you.
And just, I love the short interest as an added catalyst to an already great technical setup. So
100%.
I agree.
All right, everybody, thank you for being here. We will be back with another episode of Chart Request Live right here on Stock Market TV next Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And as a reminder, we are doing a Wave Trader live event right here on Stock Market TV this Thursday. So there is a link on your screen to get a reminder for that, to join us. It's going to be awesome. Steve Straza has absolutely been crushing it with that system. And if you guys are not familiar, you are in for a treat this Thursday. Join us for that new member orientation for Wave Trader. And of course, on Thursday, Jason Purrs, myself, and maybe Rick will also be going live for our Gold Rush live event. So a lot happening here on Stock Market TV. If you like what we're doing here, we'd very much appreciate it if you give us a like and subscribe to the channel so we can keep bringing you awesome content like this. We have Ryan says he just signed up for the Wave Trader. Shout out to you, Ryan. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Seaman Grays says they did too. That's awesome. I love to hear it. Dan, this was such a pleasure jumping on Chart Request Live with you. You really are my favorite Canadian. I don't know a lot of Canadians, to be fair, but you are the man.
Love it, man. No, I was happy to be here. This was great.
Awesome. All right, everybody. We will catch you later.
See you, everybody.